How's everybody doing today? Thumbs
Good.
up,
How are you doing?
sideways, down. I'm kind of like this today. All right, it's 1 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. Even though some of us will probably be joining us as we're talking. I had an email from Renisha saying that she might be late. So she might be late, or she might just have to look at the recording today. Um, so we will see. I want to let you guys know ahead of time that I might have to step out for a minute. I'm waiting for a call from a doctor's office, and I know you guys know what that's like. You kind of have to catch it, and hopefully it won't interrupt us. But if it does, I need to get the call. Um, so I appreciate your patience with that. All right, so today I have a bit of an outline to keep us on track. Um, what I'd like for it, I'm going to share my screen with you guys for a few minutes. All right, does everybody see the slides? Yeah? Okay. So, what I'd like for us to do today is I have a little icebreaker planned for us today because it's going to highlight our own self care because we've been talking a lot about the research and about the project and things, but we haven't really shared with each other what we do for self care. And so, a theme of your journals has been that you guys are wanting self care and wanting to focus on your self care. And so we're going to talk about that for a few minutes today. Um, Next, we'll do a little ethics spotlight. Like I told you, throughout the summer, we'll kind of go through some of the standards for technology and social work practice. Then we'll do updates, and today I'd like for us to do a little bit of a round robin type setup where you guys answer a couple of questions about what you've been doing and about the project in general. Then after that, we'll do what we've done in past weeks based on, everybody's updates. We'll kind of regroup and figure out what our next steps are for this next week and assign roles for this next week. Y'all have any questions before we get started? Is there anything you guys want to add or make sure we talk about? Okay. All right. So we'll get started with the icebreaker. So these are the two questions that I want you guys to answer. So the first question is, what have you already done for self-care? And then the second question is, what do you have planned for self-care for this week? So I'll go first. What I have done for self care this week, when I was writing this, I had to think very hard about that. And since it was so hard for me to figure that out, that's why I made the second question. So if you haven't done much self care, you can redeem yourself. Um, But one thing I did for self care already is this morning I did my dishes, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but for me it is. I really didn't want to do it, but I feel a lot better about my house now that my dishes are all done. And I have a walk planned with my best friend this afternoon. Um, and I haven't seen her since the coronavirus started, because we both have small children. And so we're used to seeing each other and talking to each other every week, and we haven't seen each other in months. So it's going to be good to see her and to get some exercise. All right. So again, I'm not sure how the Zoom looks for you guys, but my first person that shows up is Kenzie.
Hello, I'm happy to share. So, what I have done for self-care this week is I try and take my dog on a walk when I'm feeling like I need to get away for a little bit. So, we'll go on a walk over around the neighborhood. And then, what I plan on doing this week, I'm in San Diego and it's been so hot and sunny. So, my mom and I decided we're gonna lay out by our pool today in the afternoon.
Ooh, that
I'm
sounds nice.
excited.
And lucky you living in San Diego.
I know, I'm very lucky.
All right, Amy.
Hi. I just wanted to say, first of all, I can totally relate to you saying about the dishes because I remember when my kids were smaller, that was so huge. It made such a difference to feel like I had a clean house.
And they're never over either. That's the
No,
reason I put them off, just like laundry. It's like you're never done, you
no,
know?
no.
But it feels good to have like an empty-ish sink, you know?
Yes. Um, I have been doing for, like, I was feeling really overwhelmed for the first few weeks of the module, and then I started I got this app called Insight Timer, and it has a bunch of meditations. And I started it 20 days ago. And so I know that because it keeps up, and I've been doing it every day. And that has really helped me a lot. I've tried several different apps, and I really like this one because you can really personalize it. And the other thing that I've done is forever, I have put off going to the doctor, and so I did that this week, which was huge for me. Because I always, that kind of stuff, like the dentist and the doctor, I always put off. And so for my plan, I am going to keep walking, which I've always done, but I'm also going to keep up with my meditation.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Caitlin.
For me, it's been really sunny here in Nebraska. It hasn't been raining. So I went for a walk around my neighborhood the other day. And what I plan to do is call my best friend who lives in Memphis. We haven't spoken in almost 3 years, like on the phone, and just catch up with her. I think that'll be a really good thing.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. All right, Joanna.
Hi. Um, well, this week for self-care, I've actually caught up on sleep
Yay.
because I was trying to um, go to sleep before the Zoom calls, and then I don't sleep because I'm afraid I'm not going to wake up. And then I'm up, and then I'll go back to bed just for a couple hours and then get up early again, like my regular schedule. So I was just dead tired all the time, and I just don't know why I was doing it. So now I've just, after the Zoom calls, I just go to sleep, and then when I wake up, I wake up, and I feel a lot better. Um,
Good.
so I'm going to continue with my sleep, and it is really nice out. So I'd like to ride my bike some more because I enjoy that.
Okay. All right, Lily. Oh, you're still muted.
Regular self-care strategy is probably running. So I usually put that off until the evening, but this week I've been better about running in the morning, which like structures my day really well. So I'm glad about that because sometimes I get home and don't want to run and then I don't do it. So it doesn't work well. So I'm glad I've been running in the morning more. And then this upcoming week, well, I guess this week too, I've been doing this. This is so bad because I'm in school for this. I really hate self-care, like with a passion. And so I have, which is awful, and our whole project is about it. But I've been doing a lot of journaling on like why it's so uncomfortable for me. And so I think that's a really good step because it's just like developing an awareness of like, I'm not trying to get all psychoanalytic, but my parents like are very productive people, and like our family dinner conversation was about what did you accomplish today, and so I think it comes back to a lot of that. So it's just been really helpful to reflect on like origins of things and why, and then also the effects of like not doing self-care. So
Yeah, that's a really great thing to do, to write about it. And also, it's great that you've, kind of moved beyond the point of just not liking self-care and are trying to figure out the reasons behind it, to really work on it. Because I think that a lot of social workers get stuck in the, oh, I don't have time for self-care, or another one is, who's going to help this person if I don't? Um, you know, and like you said, the productivity part of it, just feeling like you're not doing anything or you're not accomplishing anything, um, whenever you do self-care. Yeah. All right. Is there anybody else on here that I missed? Those are the boxes that I see, but that doesn't mean, why do I only see that many? Oh, there's many more of you. I think I need to just open my screen bigger. Hang on. Okay, yeah. Anthony, why don't you go next?
Um, yeah, so as Lily just said, like I work out a lot, so I run every morning, and that kind of clears my head and kind of sets what I need to do for the day. So that's kind of, I think that's kind of like, and if I don't, I feel off for some reason. So I think that's probably my biggest self care that I do. But then one thing that I've been trying to do, and that I'm going to try to continue to do next week, is I don't really have a lot of time, but I've been trying to like cook my own meals, because a lot of times I'll just order out or get it delivered or whatnot. But and I enjoy it, and I'm not that great at it, but I'm getting better. So I'm trying to
You gotta keep practicing to get
yeah,
better.
so I'm trying to learn a little more, and I'm not, like I said, I'm it's getting there, but it's not like my mother's, but it is what it is, right? So but yeah, so I'm definitely been trying to cook and learn different recipes and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Alexis.
Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Um, I haven't really did anything so far this week because I work every day, and I also try to do my schooling as well. But on Saturday, my aunt is getting married, so I'm going to attend her wedding for some self care.
Okay, that sounds great.
Years. So yeah.
You'll get to see people that you don't normally get to see,
Yes, well, it's not gonna be that many of us because of the situation, but it'll be
right?
like my mom, my dad, like close knit friends and family.
Okay, great. All right, Bria. I like your
I run. Yeah, I'm down there. I run a lot, and then I journal. Well, I haven't. I just lied. I haven't been doing that really that well. But reading, I read every night, so I'm really big into like reading. What book am I? I just got done. Oh my God, the book did I just get? It was a New York Times bestseller, but I just got done with the book, so now I'm starting another book.
And now it's dead to you, apparently.
Oh God, what was them? And it's like, people would probably know if they're big readers because it's like one of the biggest sellers out there right now. But I just got done with that, and that Where the Crawdads Sing. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
Or Where the Crawdads Sing or something. So I just got done with that book, and now I'm starting another one. So
Is that one set in Louisiana?
I want to say it was. Because it was like in the marsh, but I forgot like where it was.
Yeah, I think it was set in Louisiana because I ended up reading it, and you just made me want to read it again.
I know. I wanted to read it again after I got done. I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to read this one then. I
Yeah,
like reading things that are close to home too, to see what I love whenever people who aren't from Louisiana write about Louisiana, because it's fun to see what their interpretations or how well they,
Yeah.
embody it. Yeah. All right. So what's your plan for this week, Bria?
Running and then probably starting that book.
Okay.
I think it's called Can't Stop Me. I always just go on Amazon and order my books because they always like give suggestions on like the New York Times bestseller, or like the #1 book of the week. So I
Yeah.
ordered one that said Can't Stop Me. So I think it's about a Marine that was like, that lost like 150 pounds or something, and then how he did it. And so I ordered that book.
Cool.
Another thing I wanted to say is I was not able, to submit the journaling this week, it's kept saying error. So it was not letting me submit my
Yeah.
journal entry this week. So I was just going to tell you on here.
I had big hopes for Padlet, but apparently it seemed like it took like some extra steps for everybody to get set up on it. So I probably won't use it for journaling again.
Okay. I just wanted to
but
let you know that because
yeah,
I thought it was submitted, and then I went back on today to log on. It's not there. So
yeah. If you what I suggest you guys doing is maybe keeping it like in a Word document or that sort of thing, like just keep all of them in there. And you can email it to me each week if you're having trouble with Padlet. Like, it doesn't have to be on Padlet, but whenever you post something on Padlet, I get a message, so I know to go and look at it or that there's something there for me to look at. But the same thing happens if I get an email, I'll know that I've got one from you.
okay.
All right. Okay, so two things I thought about as you guys were talking. So one is, for our project, the challenges. I haven't read through all of them yet, but one I was thinking of is there one on our list about apps that we use for self-care? I thought about that when Amy was talking about Insight Timer, and whenever Bria was just talking about how she gets these automatic recommendations for things, and how like I don't download an app or read a book or buy anything without any kind of recommendation anymore. Like I don't just go to the store and just pick up stuff anymore. And I think that other social workers would probably like recommendations from people about what kind of apps they use or what kind of books they're reading, that sort of thing. Just thought. All right. Anything you guys want to talk about before we move on to the ethics spotlight? Nope. Okay. All right. So this is the one that I have picked out for us today. It's actually the very first standard of the standards for technology and social work practice. And it says, when social workers use technology to provide information to the public, they shall take reasonable steps to ensure that the information is accurate, respectful, and consistent with NASW Code of Ethics. So this one is going to be really important for us in our project because we're going to be sharing so much information. And so I thought that it would be a good thing for us to have a conversation about. So to kind of get you guys thinking and started for this conversation, think about how do you, when you're presented with information from the web, how do you analyze it or evaluate it? Let's say we're all on Facebook and we see a post about coronavirus and saying we don't need to wear masks anymore. Masks are actually making coronavirus worse.
Um, I would say that when I see something like that, I always look to see where the bias is coming from,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess the validity of it.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
so,
So was this just something that one of your friends on Facebook just typed themselves and posted on there? Like maybe it's like, one of those images that's created in a program like Canva or something like that that says that statement, but there's no thing you click on to go to the source or the article. It's just that person's opinion. Or if it does click to go to an article, what kind of article is it? What's the source? What do we know about the source? Would any of you guys argue with that person?
I wouldn't argue because honestly, at this point, who really knows? Uh, at work, we're made to wear masks or whatever. There's several times where I have taken my mask off in the same area at work to
Mm-hmm.
go something, and I'm completely fine. Or there's times when I'll probably get overheated at work, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this mask has to go. But I mean, I don't really know, but I don't think I would argue. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and that's, a little bit different, that some people when they're at work are taking them off for various reasons, whether it's uncomfortable, claustrophobic, or there's certain areas that are maybe safer for people not to wear masks, like if you're in an office by yourself versus whether you're in a waiting room with a bunch of other people. But this is asking about um, more of like the information, like somebody saying that you don't need to wear the mask. But you hit on a really important point too, Alexis, that there's gonna always be something that we don't know. We can never say with 100% certainty, even in a scientific study, that our findings are 100% accurate. There's always going to be some level of error, and science is generative, so that means that we're always building on science, and so there's never going to be one final answer. We're always going to be building on things. So even if today, wearing masks really is, the best thing to do to protect yourself, or that's what major outlets like, the CDC are saying, it could be different tomorrow. And so we all have to be continuous learners or lifelong learners to keep up with the most up-to-date information. All right, so what about our our project? What do you think some things we need to think about when we're looking for content to share?
Maybe like where it comes from, what
Mm-hmm.
where who's posting that information to begin with. Because I've been trying, like on just the little things I've found so far, I try to make sure it's either from NASW or um, some, a social work type site or group that seems like it's fairly reliable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I think that that's a good rule of thumb for us that we try to share things that have first been shared by like um, a major social work organization.
And I might need to do a little bit more like thorough reading of it before I post it, because sometimes, how sometimes you like just peruse something and then you think, oh, this works.
Just like you should always watch a video clip before you share it with a class or something like that. I've learned that the hard way. And then like, oh, maybe we shouldn't watch the rest of this. It looked like a great clip, but it's not. Okay, what else?
I think what might be interesting, especially right now with what's going on, is when we share articles or podcasts or whatever to the page or even our personal Facebook posts, we want to know who the author is and kind of like what their values are and what else they're putting out into the media, because it would be horrible if they were like representing themselves, like for example using race, like if they were racist or had posts that were racist and then we were posting one of their articles, like that would be bad if we hadn't looked into it.
Yeah, so even beyond just the content we're sharing, like maybe it is a great article that they have on self-care, but they also are posting lots of racist things too, then it could, be harmful to share that that article because it may look like we're supporting their other ideas too. Okay. So this is something we're going to have to keep thinking about and something that we probably will have to do some fact checking or um, some sort of protocol to kind of check on this too. So this, I don't know if that means that it's like a separate role for somebody or if it's something that everybody does, that everybody's kind of looking at the articles that are slated to be shared. Um, but we'll have to keep thinking about what that means for us and what that'll look like. All right. Anything about the ethics spotlight? Y'all are always so quiet. All right. So we'll do another kind of round of checking in, and this check-in is more about what you've done this week for the project. So what are the tasks that you've worked on? And then the second thing that I want you to do is to give one suggestion that you have about the project. So, sometimes, in any kind of group, some voices, stand out more than others, and people are more comfortable sharing or not. And so I want this to be an opportunity for everybody to share at least one thing that they are thinking about for the project, or it could be something that maybe you're confused about or something you've thought about but haven't shared. Um, so those are the two things, what you've done and then one contribution you want to make or suggestion. All right, so I'll go first. What I've done this week is I have looked over some of your post. I've looked over the posts that you guys have made to the other Padlet, the resources. I sent Lily some information about how we could register as a student organization, and I've mentioned the project to probably 4 or 5 faculty members now, and they're all on board for helping however they can. So um, whenever we decide what we want that to look like, we've got about 4 or 5 of them. One suggestion that I have for the project is that I just want to make sure that um, everyone is moving into the direction of doing about 15 to 20 hours a week. That's what Tracy Willie had told me for the community project that we should be doing. And I know that, in the beginning, these first few weeks, we've kind of still been planning, and some of you are probably already at that amount, at that number, but some of you might not be quite there yet. And so that should really be what your target is to be doing at least 15 hours a week on the project. And so if you're not, then we need to talk about that and help you guys get on track with it. All right. Kinsey, you want to go first?
Yeah. So this week I made the Facebook group, and I think we've been emailing back and forth at me and everybody, but I'm unable to add you guys to the group. So if you click the link that I emailed out, it'll take you to the Facebook group, and then you need to request to be a member. At the end of this meeting, I'll also send it again so we can do that. I know that some of us are already in the group. I think there's about 5 or 6 of us, so it's just a couple more that we need to add. So I did that this week. And then also Amy, I think it's you're posting already on the page. That's awesome. I think that's so cool. And I think that's one suggestion about the project is once we get everybody added, if we could just start adding the articles and the podcasts and the videos and whatever else we want to put on that page so we can start it running and get it going.
Okay, awesome. All right, Caitlin, do you want to go next?
Sure. What I did this week was I heard back from another social worker about some of the self-care questions we had asked. She gave a lot of really good information, like on a personal level, and then what they're doing as an organization. So I thought that was really good. And I added some stuff to the Facebook page and the Padlet. And I think one suggestion would be, could we include other mental health providers that are not social workers? Because some that I have talked to are also interested in the project. They just don't have the LCSW or the MSW with their background, but they still think, hey, we could help, we could give you more information. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay. So, something for us to think about is broadening our scope to any mental health professionals.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that? Because we've kind of gone back and forth on that. My initial thought is maybe, to keep all of the verbiage of stuff that it's social workers, but if, say, a counselor wanted to join the group, that we wouldn't deny them, that they could still be included in the group.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay. All right. Everybody else, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. Okay. All right. So, who do I see next? Joanna. You want to go next?
I linked up to the new Facebook page, but I don't know how to fill 15 to 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
I
is
guess
that
I
the
feel
same
like, am I the only one that's not?
from Tracy, like that you should be filling about 15 to 20 hours?
Yeah, I'm not there either with the 15 to 20 hours. I'm not there either.
Yeah, me neither at all.
You're not at all.
Most of you aren't. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because, another thing I've been thinking about is that, the approach that I've taken to this, like, I want you guys to have as much ownership of this project as possible. But this also is, I'm having pretty high expectations for you guys as foundation year students to produce something like this. Like, this is usually like very similar to last semester, second year student project in one of the advanced classes. So I am having really high expectations for you guys. And so, something that might help me too is if I can find out a little bit more of what, maybe from each of you, like what one learning goal you might have for yourself is, because I can be more directive, but I'm just wondering if that's part of it, that why you're not getting the full hours, is that you need more direction.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the case, is to get more direction, kind of, because I've definitely not filled anywhere near 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah.
Also, maybe Cassie or Dr. Dynacole, if you could clarify, because my liaison is saying that the community hours, it's not only community outreach, but it's also skills lab and field seminar.
Okay.
And so if I'm
Right.
counting all of those, then it would be closer to the 15-20, but if it's only community outreach, then it's not close.
So, from what I understand, I think that with the field hour, like with the field, the skills lab and the field hours, it should all equal 40 hours, right? Because that's how many.
No, because some
Yeah.
of us are not in block. Block is
Yeah, that's
Okay.
we are supposed to only be doing 15 to 18 hours a week for
Are y'all all in that situation?
I'm
No.
in block and I have to do probably about 10 or so hours extra of just like the other tasks that they put on Moodle.
Okay.
I'm not in block. I'm in fifth. I only have supposed to do 15 to 18
Total.
hours a
I'm in
week
the same situation. I'm only doing 15 to 18.
Okay.
total.
I'm gonna
Right.
take a couple of notes real quick. Okay, so Alexis and Bria, you guys are both saying that y'all are the 15 to 18 hours. Is that what y'all are
Correct.
saying? Okay,
Yeah.
total.
Alexis,
Okay.
what is it called? It's not called block, but what are we in?
it's the
It's
same
single.
single format.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, single format. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Single
Thank you.
I'm
Um,
in block too, Kinsey. So we have to do the full 40.
Okay, so Lily and Kinsey, y'all are okay doing a
I know. I know Dakota's not on the call, but Dakota's also block 40 hours.
you said Dakota is?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
she's blocked 40 hours.
And so y'all mentioned this the
I'm
first
on
time.
block.
Are y'all sisters?
Yeah, twins.
Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Are y'all identical twins?
Yeah, identical mirror.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, they look exactly alike. I'm like, are they punking me? Like
Trading places.
Okay. All right. But Bria, you're doing a single and then Dakota. And then I think I heard, didn't Tracy say that y'all's mom is a social worker?
Yeah, she owns her own private mental health clinic in our hometown.
Okay. So is it going to be like the Goodman family practice now?
Well, it's right now. It's called Goodman's Behavioral Health. So my mom will retire soon, and then eventually, when we get our LCSW in the state of Wisconsin, we have to have an LCSW to own a private mental health clinic. So that's kind of the way we're going. We'll take it over after mom retires.
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
That's so awesome. I hope my kids
Yep.
want to be social workers.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine who went to her mom is a pediatrician, but now her and both of her siblings are social workers. So it's kind of fun. All right, so I have Alexis and Bree as single, Lily, Kinsey, Dakota as block. So Joanna, what are you in
I'm
right
block as
now? You're in
well.
block, okay.
Block.
And then Caitlin, you just said block, okay.
And
Okay,
this is Amy, and I'm single.
you're single, okay. And then Anthony, are you single or block?
I'm single.
Single, okay. Okay, and so yeah, so y'all are right. So the single, that is kind of what is a traditional load. Like for internship, if you were in school full time, like in our on-campus program, then you would have about 16 hours, 16 to 18 hours that you'd be doing for your internship each week. So that kind of helps me conceptualize it. The block format is something that a lot of students choose to do over the summer, especially like teachers who may be working full time during the school year and aren't able to do an internship and classes. and where it is like having a full-time job. So you guys should be spending more time. And that kind of helps me understand too, like looking at what kind of things you guys have signed up for. That makes more sense, which ones of you have been a little more active, and people who have been more supportive, because that makes sense because some of you are in block formats and some of you are in single formats. Um, okay, so for the people who said you're nowhere close 15 to 20, so that's probably because you're a single format. But do you think that you're reaching that with the skills lab and with the other things that you're doing?
Yeah, like the way I'm doing it, and the way I'm doing it is I'm doing good because I have the
Mm-hmm.
skills lab plus the field seminar that we have twice a week, plus the little activities. So
Gotcha.
I'm on a good page. I'm actually over the hours each week that I really need.
Okay, awesome. All right, Bria, what about you? Do you feel like you're getting the full 15 to 18 with if you include all the other stuff?
Yes, yes. I'm very well.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Amy and Anthony, what about you guys?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So for my block placement people, are you feeling like you need some more direction or more tasks to work on to get your hours?
I feel like I mean, because for the field seminar and the skills, there aren't any additional assignments
Mm-hmm.
typically
Right.
to do. So I feel like I have filled all my hours with the trainings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotcha.
Um,
I think I need more too because it's just skills lab and
Trainings get to be like mind
lab.
rot after a
Yeah.
while, is what I hear. Um, that it just is too much to sit there and watch that many um, voiced over PowerPoint presentations. So I'll work on that. What I might see if I can do is maybe set up a phone call with each one of you guys this week, so that we can talk for a few minutes and we can plug you in so that we can make sure that you have your hours. Joanna, I'm not sure what that would mean for you with the time difference and things, but it could just be emails too. I just want to make sure that everybody feels like they're getting their hours and um, know what they're supposed to be doing.
I'm not
Really?
worried about getting hours. I do a lot of the trainings, which like they do become very mind numbing, but it's also been really helpful because I can list like a lot of them are just lectures and I can listen to them when I drive or when I'm doing other things. But I do also want to make sure that I'm like putting the appropriate amount of time in the community outreach project and I'm not doing the 15 to
Yeah.
20 hours.
So the thing that's a little bit different about our group is that when they came to me about this, they had, maybe 4 or 5 projects that they had started with community organizations, and then they ran out of projects. And I mean, I've done these projects with students where we do the assessment and come up with a project like this. And so that's kind of, it's like, okay, we can do that. I've done that many times with students before. But with you guys being foundation, your students, I also want to make sure that I'm not pushing you guys too far. Are you feeling like um, there are things I'm asking you to do that you maybe want to work on other skills first before you get there? Like, or no? Okay. Lily, you're the only one shaking your head.
Especially if we're talking about self-care, which technically is a foundation level skill.
Yeah, okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. But I mean more of like the creating a community intervention, It's basically what we're doing with this Facebook group. Okay. I'm not gonna spend any more time on this if it's a non-issue, but I am gonna work with you guys on making sure we have like goal-oriented, productive things for you to do, especially for you guys who are spending a lot of time on trainings and would like more variety of things to do. All right. So I think I just like took over and like, did we get through everybody? Who were we on? Were we on Lily or Amy? Lily, did you go already?
I don't think I
I
went.
don't think
Oh,
you
no,
did.
I definitely did not go. Because I was gonna, so I did my professional Facebook page. I think Kenzie just kind of created the group. She said it was pretty simple to do. So I did that, but then I also looked into the link that you had sent, but just starting a campus organization. And I'm going through that process right now, but I've added everybody's email into the roster and like listed everybody as members. But there needs to be a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, campus advisor, and chapter advisor. And so I need people to sign up for those roles.
So, Lily, what is the difference between the chapter advisor and the campus advisor? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I know that there's some sort of faculty role, and obviously I sign up for that.
I would say that's probably more of a campus advisor position, but I actually am not sure because when I was doing the group, let me pull it back up. It did say who is your like faculty sponsor. So that I'm guessing that would be different. Right? Like you would be our faculty sponsor and then a campus advisor would be separate from that.
Right. So, something that I would suggest too is that in forming the organization is to create the sustainability, and so this could be something that we're like planning for the people who take this on to do, or it's an activity that we can do this summer together, kind of building this organization, the student organization, like maybe hosting a Zoom call for on-campus students and online students, and say, hey, if you want to be a part of this group, we're starting with a Facebook group. We might have other, things that we do, but this is our first activity. And then from there, it might be where you would vote for offices and things.
So it wouldn't let me create the organization unless I had those offices filled.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll look into this. I'm going to talk to another organization. One on campus that was formed recently is for our BSW program. And so I'll talk to the faculty advisor for that and see if she can give us some information about what comes first. Is it the like initial meeting where we have officers, or do we have to have the organization first?
Right.
Okay. I'll look into that.
Okay.
Okay. Amy?
This week, sorry, there's a fly that keeps flying around. This week, Audrey and I visited, and I don't think she's on the call today because she had a family emergency yesterday, but we talked about each of us like just sending in our own video, and then we could decide how we wanted to organize it as a group instead of trying to merge anything together. And we talked about it being like, maybe 30 seconds long, and that we could decide if we wanted it free form or to answer 3 questions, how we wanted to do that. And I think that was all.
Okay. She froze up on us. Can you hear us? Oh no, she's stuck forever. We'll get her back. Joanna, did I skip you? No.
You're cutting out now.
I am. Can you hear me now? Yeah?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So it looks like Amy might have to rejoin us. Um, okay. Alexis, do you wanna talk about what you've been working on?
Yes, ma'am. I created my Facebook page for the first time, so hopefully I did all right. Um, I'm still kind of going in trying to make it private, so this can be just for this project because I don't really care to have Facebook for any other reason. Um, I don't really have any suggestions really. I guess I have to keep getting into it. But I did the first step, which was creating Facebook, and I also joined the page as well. And so I'm looking on it as we speak right now. What's on it? But I'm kind of with whatever everybody else is with. I'm sorry, I have my TV on. Could you hear me?
Yeah.
But
Okay. All right, Bria.
This week I interviewed a social worker, and she took a video of herself and she is sending it to me.
Awesome. Yay. You must have made a great rapport with her for her to feel comfortable to do that.
Well, she's kind of like outgoing anyway, so it doesn't shock me that she gave me the video, but she's kind of funny. But so she is sending me that video. I think she's trying to figure out from her daughter how to send me the video, and I've been trying to explain it. But I mean, I know she's busy with clients and everything, so I haven't really brought it up again, but she is going to send me it.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
And what about suggestions? Do you have anything you want to share?
No, not really. I don't really have any suggestions, no.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Are we missing anybody? Nope. Okay, let's move along. Okay, so moving on to the things that we'll work on this week. So, I think one thing maybe we need to talk a little bit more about right now is, with making this a student organization. After I talked to Dr. Moon about what the BSW group's experience was, what do you guys think about the idea of hosting some sort of online event that's open to your classmates?
I feel like it's a good idea. Something different and something else for us to do. I've never participated in anything like that, so that'd be nice. Opening up to other classmates to join.
Okay.
I think along with that, we might need to do something along like with marketing or advertising to kind of recruit people to attend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can talk to Denise Chesson, and so once we have something created, like whether it's an image or just like the text of an email that we want to send out, she can help us send that to people. Okay, so what are the things that we need to work on this week? I've mentioned a couple of things I'll do. I'll talk to Dr. Moon about the student organization, um, and I'll keep talking to faculty members about how they might be able to get involved, and to let them know that this is happening. I'm sure that the people that I've talked to would be willing to come to any kind of meeting that we have too. Have you guys, as online students, have you guys been invited to be in any student organizations yet? No. Do y'all have an interest in being in student organizations? Some of you? Yeah. Okay. Because, on campus we have an honor society. We have, I'm not sure if that's active. I know we are trying to get it reactivated. We have SWASA, which is the social work student organization. We had one that was a LGBTQ group called SWAY, and there is a group for Black social workers. So we have a couple of different ones on campus, and so that's something that I'm sad to hear that you guys haven't been offered an invitation to those
I
things.
was I was about to ask that. Is there any way that online students can we join that?
You
Although it's on
should be
campus.
able to. CSWE would definitely want to see that we're offering invitations to our online students just like our in-person students. So that's something I'll add to my list this week to investigate how we can get you guys involved. All right, so let's make a plan for this week. I'll add it to our document again, like I've done on other weeks. Can you see it? I think I need to share that with you. Hang on.
We can see it.
You can see it? Okay, great.
I can.
Can you all see it where I'm typing?
I can't. I don't know why. I can just see you.
Do you have the Google Doc open? Oh, sorry. I just have it pulled up on my own browser and I can see it there. You're muted.
Okay. Okay, maybe that's what I need to do then.
I got it now. I can see it.
Okay. Okay, talk to faculty members about supporting project. I'm going to talk to Dr. Moon about starting a student organization. All right, so should we put for all that you'll add something to the group?
Maybe we could all, or people can tell me what they think. Like, what if we did all like one personal video or post about what like a self-care thing we did so that we can make it more personal, and then one like scholarly thing on self-care, or like a scholarly video or a professional, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So one is post how about we say what question you should answer? So maybe it could even be what we shared with each other today. So what did you do for self-care today? Does that sound reasonable?
What we can do on the page, and this is just an organizational thing, we don't have to do this, but anyone can post a question that says, what did you do for self-care today? And we can all comment on that. Unless we want to do them all as separate posts. It kind of just depends how we want to organize the page.
I think it probably would be better to organize it the way you're suggesting.
Yeah, so I'll post that question then. Maybe each week we can come up with a question that we'll post.
Yeah, like the challenges, like to take one. Yeah, okay.
I think that's cool too, because we'll have like interaction on the page, which is good.
Okay, so
it'll probably make people more comfortable to respond as well.
Yeah,
just seeing it like that.
Yeah, and I think the other part of this is sharing the page with people too. Are we at a place where we feel comfortable doing that? Because I mean, that could be something that everybody does, is shares it with social workers, with other students, this group could get really big really fast.
I think if we all invited a couple people, then it would just get bigger and bigger. And I think if we start posting on it now, then it'll be ready for other people to join in.
Okay, so I think that, so in my head, what I'm thinking is about how we have LSU social media too. And so when we're ready to make this like really big, we can post it on that and then also send it to places like NASW and organizations. But maybe right now, while we're still like getting it started, we'll send it to personal contacts, like personal social work contacts, like individual people. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So share the page with other social workers, and then all will post a self-care article resource. All right. Anything else that we need to add or talk about? All right. Well, I think I'm excited that we're going to start posting on the page this week. I think that this is going to be an exciting week for the group to kind of start going live with things. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're done for today. Since we had a few members who weren't able to make it today, I'm going to share the link once I have it ready for the video. And I'll keep up our action items here on our shared Google Doc. All right. I'll see you next week.
Bye, thanks.
Bye.